Hi YouTube, Watchify here with another video. Today I have the Seiko Prospex King Turtle model SRPE39. It is of course most known for the stunning dial texture and the Manta Rays on it. In addition to the dial, the King Turtle differentiates itself from the regular turtles by having an upgraded sapphire crystal with anti-reflective undercoating, a ceramic bezel insert, a candy bar cyclops, and a different bezel edge than the regular Seiko turtles. It seems like Seiko started paying attention to its customers in the watch modding community by essentially doing the modding up front. You do of course pay a higher price for that, which I'll go over in a bit. There are several variants in the King Turtle line, and Seiko also applied the King treatment to their Samurai line, one of which I also have in my collection. First off, the dial is a shimmering blue and black gradient that looks gorgeous, and even more so in sunlight. It's black towards the outer edges and blue towards the center. You can make out the Manta Ray silhouettes near 7 and 8 o'clock. Hands and indices shape remains the same as regular turtles, which is a good thing in my opinion. The silver applied markers have a generous application of Seiko's proprietary Lumibrite, and they really give off a good glow on this watch. On the dial is the Seiko logo as well as the Prospex logo and the wording automatic and divers 200 meters, which signifies that this watch is ISO certified. If you're curious as to what ISO certification really means, I will link an article in the video description that I found on the internet that explains it pretty well. The dial also has the words "Made in Japan" in tiny letters on the edge of the dial between 6 and 7. You can see the unframed white day and date window and wheel and how it's covered by the candy bar cyclops. The days of the week on this model are in English and Spanish. I think if Seiko only knew how many people out there are fans of the kanji day wheels, I feel that they would include that on all their watches. That would be perfectly fine with me. In regards to the Cyclops, I hear you either love it or hate it, the latter group even going so far as to remove it themselves. I personally don't have a problem with it, and I actually find it pretty functional in terms of improving the at-a-glance visibility of the date and day wheel. The black chapter ring on my watch is of course misaligned, which is not uncommon for Seikos these days, unfortunately even for their King series. This watch still has the workhorse 24 jewel Seiko 4R36 movement, which beats at 21,600 beats per hour, and it has a 41-hour power reserve. Here's the watch on my time grapher. You can see it's running about 9 to 13 seconds fast, which is, still within spec. Onto the case. The case is the familiar large pincushion shape that tapers inwards towards the bottom, which of course helps make this watch wear smaller on wrist than it might have otherwise. The case has drilled lug holes for easy strap and bracelet changes. Depending on where you measure it, the case is either 45 or 47 millimeters wide. The lug-to-lug distance is only 47.6 millimeters on my calipers. Thickness is 13.1 millimeters, and the lug width is 22 millimeters. Like all turtles, the unsigned screw-down crowns at the 4 o'clock position and is a good size and is easy to grip. The case is brushed on top and polished on the sides and bottom. You'll find the familiar Seiko wave on the screw-down case back, and the case back also has the wording "Special Edition" on it. I would probably describe the bezel edge as an irregular grenade pattern that's wider on the bottom and tapers slightly as it goes up. The result is a bezel that's very easy to grip and turn. The bezel action is very smooth and refined in my opinion, and I detect very little backplay. The ceramic bezel insert is well done in black and white numerals, hashes, and minute dots, and has an embedded loom pip at the 12 o'clock arrow marker. Of note is that the bezel and insert sit higher than the sapphire crystal on this watch. So yes, this is a large watch and not for everyone, I guess. I have a 6 3/4 inch wrist, and this watch does look large on my wrist. Because of the size, I think this watch carries a lot of wrist presence, but isn't gaudy in my opinion, if that makes sense. It just looks like you're wearing a serious dive watch on your wrist, which of course this Seiko Turtle certainly is. You probably noticed already that I replaced the Seiko bracelet with a strap code Jubilee bracelet. There isn't anything wrong with the OEM bracelet though, and here's what that looks like. It has solid end links and a diver's extension, 4 micro adjustment holes, double push buttons, and a locking mechanism. It does still have a stamped metal clasp, however. I knew early on that I was going to upgrade the bracelet, as this watch almost screams to be on a Jubilee bracelet. I kind of wish Seiko had done an OEM bracelet in that style to begin with. So what else is there to say about this watch other than it's a famous Seiko Turtle with a stunning dial and some upgrades? I mentioned the watch is large, so for those with smaller wrists, Seiko does have the 42mm mini Turtle model, which I also have in my collection and really enjoy wearing as well. This King Turtle can be purchased from online resellers for around $400 to $500. That looks to be around a $70 premium over a regular Prospex Turtle like the model SRPE39K1. And for the upgrades you get, I'd say that's a fair cost increase. The lowest price I saw in this King Turtle SRPE39 at the time of filming was $375 from an eBay seller, but just to note that that model is the one that ends in K1. All that means is it doesn't have the Made in Japan wording on the dial, but everything else regarding the watch is exactly the same. So I'd say if you're in the market for a dive watch from a line with a solid history and with a great dial and specs, definitely take a look at this Seiko Turtle SRPE39, or even the SRPF77, which has a darker blue dial and it comes on a silicone strap. That'll wrap up this video. As always, feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you found it interesting. I know there are plenty of videos on YouTube about this watch and some other watches that I cover, so I appreciate you watching mine. I try to upload watch related content on a regular basis, and I'm slowly trying to improve the quality of my videos. For example, I recently discovered my camera settings were not ideal for autofocus, so hopefully this video came out a little bit better in your opinion. Thanks again, and see you next time.